A decade ago, as I jumped into the world of wine in British Columbia's Okanagan Valley, it has taken me on a journey, working and discovering tastes that I love, meeting incredible people, beautiful landscapes, and memories that will last a lifetime. And last year, as I had the opportunity to experience a part of the world that I'd never been to before, this journey of wine culture continued on Pico of the Azores Islands in Portugal. There I met some of the producers, winemakers, and passionate wine enthusiasts of this very special and unique wine region. One whose local climate is complex, challenging, and unlikely, and has evolved over time to be one of the most sought-after regions and exported all over Europe and the world. Firstly, Pico is an island way out in the middle of the Atlantic, so the ocean is the big factor around here. It is also a very young island, estimated to be around 300,000 years old, and it is this meeting of volcanic rock and soil with the ocean salt and weather that influenced the wine of Pico. The growing of grapes for wine production dates back to the 15th century, as Monica from Cerca Dos Frades explains. I have met her at the vineyard for a tour.
You can see the whole vineyard. Can you see it over there?
Yeah.
Yes, we have sheep now because the sheep eat the weeds.
The weeds,
yes. So that's why we have it, and it's very much
Ecological.
Yes, thank you. So
They're the lawnmowers.
Yes. Portuguese came here. They came with the priests and the friars, that the people that brought here the grapes for them to start the wine. There was a friar, a specific friar, a really smart friar. Imagine this. We have this place here, so that's why a Cerca Dos Frades.
This
is literally the spot.
Okay.
That's why we decided to call the wine a Cerca Dos Frades.
Which means around the friars, or it means
Literally the fence of the friar.
the friends of the friars?
Yes.
Okay.
After learning a little about the history of their vineyard, I learned about the maze of low, dry-stacked, black volcanic stone walls that look like a maze. These small squares snaking all over the landscape create microclimates that protect the vines from salt-laden wind and storms while trapping solar heat in the rocks. This helps the vines grow and ripen grapes even while cooled by the ever-present sea breeze. This is an example of the resourcefulness of the early viticulturalists using local raw materials for an extraordinary effect on the landscape. The term for these low walls is called corrège. Next, we had to try the white wines that Cerca Dos Frades is known for.
So this is the blend of 2019. This is our second blend since our existence. This is the mixture of our three types of grapes. This is Verdelho, most of it is Verdelho, then Rinto dos Açores, and then Terroir do Pico.
Blend of three.
Yes, the blend of three.
Look at the color is amazing.
Yes, it is.
It's very golden, very yellow, very warm.
Yes. This one is a really special one because it's a combination of the wettest year to the driest year. So it did a phenomenon with the grapes. So it has this golden, bold color, and it has a little bit taste of honey. And you will taste also the salt, because the salt is the sea is a really big influence.
It has a lot of acidity.
Yes.
It's very fresh. It's delicious. It's crisp. It's refreshing. It's
Welcome to the Pico wines. Yes.
Yeah.
They are all very mineral wines.
I want to say there's almost a little like cantaloupe and apricot flavor.
Yes. This is a really specific wine, because if you like it, you really like it, and if you don't, you just cannot deal with it. So this one is 77% of Verdelho,
Okay.
16 of Rinto dos Açores, and 7 of Terroir.
This is literally the color of honey,
Yes.
golden nectar, and this is a more traditional color of white.
What do you think?
It has more mineral flavor.
Much more mineral flavor.
Yeah. It's more refreshing than
The other one,
than the other one, yeah. On a hot summer day.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, I think, chilled. I think there's like a melon taste.
That's what Paul Machado, the winemaker, says.
Grantes. 100%
100% Terrantes do Pico.
Trontes au Pico.
Yes. This is the most elegant wine and the most elegant grape. It is really different. It's a really specific wine, and that's why we only do whites, because they are really memorable.
Mm-hmm.
They are really complex. Because we have a lot of feelings, we have a lot of tastings and a lot of smells. So it's a memorable wine. I think, in my opinion, I think you wherever you are in the world and you taste wine from Pico, you will know it is from Pico, because this complexity, this saltiness that has, and for me is the smell of the sea.
Mm-hmm. Monica is a great ambassador for wine in Pico, and I appreciated her guiding me through a Cerca Dos Frades elegant and refreshing wines. The tasting room at Tito's Adega is a cozy and cute little stone room that is a nod to the rustic wineries of the past, complete with a historic wooden press. It is a stone's throw from the black volcanic cliffs dropping straight off into the sea, where the power of the ocean was on full display. I will not be stepping over onto those rocks. I'm down here on the edge of these cliffs, checking out the surf and the swell, which is just pounding the cliffs. And the lava, the soft lava rock, is just eroding into the ocean. Like right here, this crack, I can see down to the water underneath. I can see daylight through this crack. The power of this surf is just eroding the land into the ocean. And I can feel the mist from the spray of the waves. A little further along the coast, in São Roque, I was in for a real treat at Czar Wines with Fortunato Garcia, the owner and winemaker. Pleasure to meet you, Fortunato.
Nice to meet you too. My name is Fortunato Garcia, and I was born, raised in Pico, then traveled a little bit, but I decided to come back and not to immigrate, like a lot of Pico people or Azorian people. And I decided to come back, and my story has been living between the ocean and the mountain, teaching, diving, having bands, which for a time I had 3 bands, cool. Enjoying life pretty much, and do the things that you love. So I probably would never become rich in euros, but I would have the richness of a human being doing everything he loves in life. And so yes, I believe I had a good life. And I still do. Yeah. Czar Wines, we have a almost 600-year-old history. Well, not Czar, named Czar wine itself, but the style of the wine. So Passado wine is a wine from raisins. Okay, a wine from raisins, of course, it's a late harvest. We do have a wine like licorice wines that are fortified with 19 and 20%. We have the same alcohol without being fortified. So this is the big difference of my wine, that our Passado wine was being sold, especially at the end and at the end of the 18th century and the beginning of the 19th century, was being sold to emperors, to kings, to popes, and the czars we know today. And that's why my father named our wine Czar, because we know that the Russian czars were the biggest wine importers of Pico Passado wine in the world. Our grapes are autochthone, and meaning our Verdelho, Arintos, Açores, and Terrantes do Pico only exists here. The fermentations of Czar normally take between 8 to 10 months, not 15 to 30 days. Okay. And then after that, I top these barrels behind me and touch no more for 8.5 years. So when I open to take the wine out to bottle it, 45% is gone to the angel's share.
Whoa.
So see the insane way of making this style of wine. In my vineyards, I produce about 800 to 900 bottles of wine, not every year, on the years that I can. The corrals that you already saw, they create an amazing microclimate of heat, and that's why I can reach raisins and not wait until the end of October. You have the stone walls holding the heat in there.
Yep.
You have the sun during the day warming up the stone. Mm-hmm. And at night, if you go to my vineyards in the summer at 4 o'clock in the morning and you touch my rocks, it's warm. So you have heat coming up. So that's why we reach raisins in September. The landscape was like proper for winemaking in this island, yes.
Yeah, this is a special treat.
This is the 13.
Okay.
So this is the one that I say that I like with the book. I have 30 grams of sugar per liter. This is going to be the strongest one of them all, 19.3. If it warms a little bit,
I can smell a bit of butterscotch.
Definitely, but that's only North Americans.
Oh yeah?
In Europe, we don't go towards that way. For me, my 13, it's like a light honey.
Okay.
Because then my 14, it's going to be like molasses or caramels. But I also smell a little bit of raisins.
Whoa.
And I'll see what happened to your tongue.
Yeah.
Up, calm. Have a second sip.
Okay. Yeah, it's incredibly smooth. I'm not getting any hint of alcohol.
That's the amazing part of this wine. It's maybe too easy to drink because it's fresh. Mm-hmm. At the same time, you have enough sugar to round it. I play around and say, listen, if you open a bottle, do it at home. Because it's going to be very easy for you to keep drinking it.
Yeah.
When I have more raisins, I always have darker wine. I call my 14 my Arnold Schwarzenegger. Because this is a bomb in your mouth. This one I drink alone, just like we did. My 14, so see, this is the one that I go more to caramel, more to molasses, not honey. So you see the nose already?
Yeah.
Way more.
First, I'm just gonna say that, like, as a Canadian, we are famous for maple syrup.
Yeah.
So maple syrup also gets lighter and darker depending.
Oh yeah, I know.
So this is like a light maple syrup.
Yes, it is.
And this is like a dark.
Maple syrup, yeah. And then you find the salt, or not yet, because this one really has that salt.
I'm getting it right on the tip right away.
Right away. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely understand what you mean when you say bomb. It just kind of hits like a train.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is the one that I go more towards that dark maple syrup that we were talking about. Well,
cheers.
Saúde. Well, in this case, saúde means our health.
Our health,
yes.
Okay.
Czar wine is the most unique that I've ever tasted. It was a joy savoring this exquisite wine with Fortunato, who was very knowledgeable about Pico's history, and we talked for longer than an hour.
Because it is there.
Thank you so much, Fortunato.
No, very nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you. That was really, truly wonderful, a special experience.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks.
In 2004, Pico's Corèche vineyard landscape attained UNESCO World Heritage Site status. In their words, the landscape and culture of Pico Island is largely intact, extraordinarily preserved, and without additions of intrusive modern structures. They go on to say that the integrity of the landscape is threatened by the construction of new buildings that are incompatible with the visual qualities of the World Heritage property. And the vineyards come at quite a cost. Almost all of the work is done by hand without mechanization. That means no tractors like I'm used to seeing in Canada or elsewhere. I met another vineyard producer on a rainy morning on the north side of the island.
Hello, my name is Norberto Maciel, born in Canada, and I've been living in Pico for about 42 years, more or less. I'm an English teacher and German teacher in Madalena, which is the largest village we have here on Pico. And as a part-time, I dedicated some time to reconstructing and rebuilding some vineyards here in Pico, which is one of them is this one where we are at now at this moment. It's a vineyard which produces grapes that are called Verdelho. This vineyard here has more or less 30,000 square meters. 2.2 hectares, yes, more or less, yes. And I have another one that produces red wine, which is Merlot and Syrah.
Interesting.
There's something that should be understood about our vineyards and about our wine. The fact that for a local market, our white wines are quite expensive. The top quality wines are very expensive. Why are they expensive? Because if you notice, All these vineyards, most of them, they're all cultivated in between small portions of, with rocks around them. Everything is done by hand. So we put the machines on our backs and we spray the vineyards. Everything is done by hand, which costs a lot of money, manpower, and even picking the grapes. Everything is done by hand. Two things: the volcanic soil and the sea. You'll notice that our wines, if you taste our wines, you can identify. If you pay close attention, you can identify some salty taste to it, a slight salty taste, and a very mineral taste. So that happens because of the soil, volcanic soil, and the effect of the salt water.
At Ilha do Pico Co-op Vitivincola, I saw where the wine is made and bottled and met with winemaker António.
Hello, my name is António Brito. I'm working here with resident winemaker. So my work here is control and testing if every wine is good and doing the best job.
The characteristics
Yeah.
Pico's
The
wine.
characteristics from Pico. So the saltness, because the vineyards are really close from the ocean. The minerally, because the soil is really young, so the island have 300,000 years, so it's a really young island. To show to the acidity, because the weather is really, really confused here, because we have a rain, we have sun in the same day, so almost we have the 4 seasons in the day. It's really nice, and I think that is the really potential from Pico. So it's 100% original source, 100% in French oak. Like 2 French oaks we have here.
Okay.
It's our style of original source, citric, acid, fresh. It's from 2022. Sorry, forgot to tell you.
Okay.
In the nose, you can feel a lot of the sea plants I'm talking.
It's almost a little bit buttery in the second half, a little bit later, so it's like buttered on bread a little bit.
We have, of course, in almost our wines, we have a little of butter, because we start sometimes, almost the time, we start a little of the malolactic fermentation to take the acidity. Sometimes it's too high, so we take a little, we start the malolactic, and I like more the wines with the malolactic in the mouth, just a little, not too much. So, next one, Basalt is a red one, okay? It's ivory, like I told you. It's really different wine, okay? And we will try it, but tell me what you think about that.
I like this label, it's cool.
Very different from what we usually do.
Yeah. Is it fire or something?
Smoky, yeah.
Yeah.
A little smoky.
Very salty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe there's like some seaweed. But
Seaweed, yeah, exactly.
Yep. I don't eat a lot of seaweed, but I think there's some seaweed there.
It's a really nice red wine to drink with a friend without anything. You can drink a little of fresh, but in the summer it's amazing.
What an interesting wine.
It's from our line of small projects.
I can taste a lot of history there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can say you have the sea and the mountain in the same time. It's amazing.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pico's wine is exceptional. The landscape and coastline is beautiful, not to mention the mountain itself, and it's this meeting of volcanic terroir, lava rock, and the ocean climate that makes it special. The people of Pico will not soon be forgotten, and I thank everyone who appears in this video for their friendly hospitality and welcoming this Canadian to their island. I hope that you watching get the chance to visit Pico as well. Saud.
That's really challenging.
It is insane. It's out of this world doing this type of viticulture and making this style of wine. It is very easy to drink. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Because the alcohol content is very high.